everybody, I'm Tim Mooney with the Timothy Mooney Repertory Theater. So today I'm continuing with another of our series on Molière, this time focusing on his most famous play, Tartuffe. I perform monologues from Molière as part of my one-man play, Molière Than Thou, which I'll be performing online, live, Sunday and Monday, September 27th and 28th, 2020 at 8 p.m. You can catch it as part of a Pay Whatever You Want event on Facebook, live on Sunday, and for just $5 on Zoom on Monday. My plan here is to shine just a little more light on Molière's work, this time examining how the plot of Tartuffe reveals Molière's understanding of human nature and how that understanding resonates with us 399 years after he was born. His 400th birthday is coming up January 2022. So here's I Finally Get Tartuffe. We are in the home of Orgon, a prosperous gentleman with two grown children, Dami and Marianne, born to his late first wife. Orgon has married a second time to Elmire. Elmire's brother, Cléant, is a friend and a frequent visitor to the home, maintained by the maid, Dorine, who, in spite of her lowly role in the family, seems to be the only one who feels free enough to speak her mind. The peaceful pattern of daily life seems, however, to have been disrupted by the presence of a household guest, Tartuffe, a seemingly impoverished man who Orgon met recently in church. Orgon was immediately inspired by the fervor and seeming rapture with which Tartuffe would express his prayers, and hoping that some of that righteous religious conviction might rub off on his family, Orgon brought him home to stay with them, watching over the household during his occasional business trips away as his moral surrogate. The play opens with Orgon's mother, Madame Pernelle, another admirer of Tartuffe's holy ways, cutting short her family visit, storming her way out towards the exit. The family tries to placate her amid the flurry of her anger. Madame Pernelle barely lets them get out a word, countering that her grandson, Dami, is an idiot, accusing the daughter, Marianne, of suspiciously hiding her craftiness, complaining of Elmire's extravagant dresses, and Elmire's brother, Cléant, for stirring loose talk. Madame Pernelle insists that Tartuffe and his religious zeal bring great salvation upon the house, even as Dorine, the maid, hints that Tartuffe's thoughts towards the lady of the house, Elmire, are gross and rank. Complaining that Elmire has lost control of her household to such a point that the servants feel free to speak their minds, Pernelle makes her righteous exit, dragging and kicking her own servant along the way. Cléant is amazed at Pernelle's credulity, but Dorine alerts him that his brother-in-law, Orgon, seems to express the same blind adoration, showering Tartuffe with affection and trusting him with the secrets of the house. Orgon returns from his trip, questioning Dorine about the goings-on in his absence, barely listening to the news of his own wife's sickness, but bemoaning, "Poor man," to Dorine's reports of Tartuffe's slightest bit of indigestion. Cléant confronts Orgon, calling Tartuffe a zealot, as he goes so far as to hint that Tartuffe may be a con man. Orgon exits angrily. Act 2. Orgon draws his daughter aside, asking Marianne of any possible attraction she might have towards his favorite, Tartuffe. Marianne, who has already been promised to her boyfriend, Valère, responds evasively, even as Orgon catches Dorine, the maid, listening in on the conversation. Dorine tries to joke Orgon out of the ridiculous notion of coupling Marianne to the slovenly Tartuffe, insisting that Tartuffe will inspire nothing more than for Marianne to want to cheat on him. "The more that man is loathsome and disgusting, the more you drive that woman into lusting," Molière wrote in rhyme. Dorine's relentless, mocking backtalk drives Orgon out of the room. Valère himself arrives, disturbed by the rumored engagement with Tartuffe. Dorine diverts the two from falling into petty arguments while devising ways to undermine any planned marriage to Tartuffe. Act 3. The son, Dami, hides in a position from which he may listen in while Elmire tries to coax Tartuffe away from this planned engagement to Marianne. And Tartuffe, excited over Elmire's wishes to see him alone, finds idle excuses to cozy up to Elmire, touching her dress. He overplays his seduction, laying out his clear intent for their encounter to turn sexual. But when Elmire confronts him, he backpedals. The good on which her soul is written would not condemn one so acutely smitten. Elmire offers a deal. If Tartuffe will allow Marianne's marriage to Valère to proceed, she will keep his sexual transgression a secret. But Damis, who has been listening in, bursts out of hiding, taunting Tartuffe. As Orgon returns, Damis declares that he heard Tartuffe trying to make love to Elmire. Rather than attempting to lie his way out of it, Tartuffe shockingly admits this wickedness and goes even further, insisting that he is wretched and corrupt, the worst villain ever, begging Orgon to flay him and drive him from the house. Overwhelmed by Tartuffe's impassioned, unflinching confession, Orgon turns on his son for attempting to smear this saintly man. Tartuffe even fights to defend Dami. Yes, he is day and I am wicked night. But Orgon only sees this as further proof of Tartuffe's holiness and his family's conspiracy against the divine man. Orgon drives his son out of the house, and Tartuffe, insisting that the whole household has turned on him, suggests that he must shun any further contact with Elmire. Orgon insists rather that Tartuffe be her constant companion, while drawing up paperwork to make Tartuffe the official heir to his estate. Act 4. Cléante appeals to Tartuffe's moral convictions. Tartuffe is taking not only the daughter in marriage, but also control of the family estate while driving father and son apart. Is not the true Christian choice to reconcile and forgive? Tartuffe counters that his retention of Dami's inheritance prevents Dami from giving in to the temptation of that money, preventing him from descending to worldly means and ungodly ends. Marianne begs her father to not force her to wed Tartuffe, but Orgon insists, "The more that you abominate him, the more shall there be honor when you mate him." Orgon accuses the family of lying about Tartuffe, and Elmire has finally had enough. What if she demonstrated Tartuffe's wickedness right beneath his nose? She will allow Tartuffe's seductive pursuit while Orgon hides under the table to listen in. As Orgon hides, Elmire apologizes to Tartuffe, but reassures him that now her husband cannot possibly suspect, and they can carry on their affair freely. Suspicious, Tartuffe insists that Elmire prove her desire by requiting his love immediately. Tartuffe insists that God overlooks such transgressions in great men. Elmire frantically tries to signal Orgon that Tartuffe has proven her point several times, and yet Orgon repeatedly fails to emerge from underneath the table. In a last, desperate attempt to interrupt Tartuffe's sexual assault, she asks him to check about to make sure her husband is not nearby. And he howls with mockery, calling Orgon a stupid rube. He drinks in every story like a boob. Orgon finally emerges from beneath the table, roaring, "I knew you were a villain all the time." It is worth taking a moment here to note that Orgon refused to believe his son and his wife, overruled his daughter, dismissed his brother-in-law, and even looked past Tartuffe's actual confession of his own wickedness. Moreover, from beneath the table, he was ear witness to Tartuffe's violation of his wife and his flippant disregard of the moral and religious code which he had scrupulously preached to everyone else in the household. It wasn't until Orgon was confronted with Tartuffe's great scorn for he himself that Orgon finally saw the light. How could someone so overlook a pattern of sociopathic behavior that is so self-evidently wicked and self-serving in a man who clearly goes against every principle that he claims to believe in? That charismatic character is somehow blindingly virtuous until that moment we realized, wait, he thinks I'm the sucker. He thinks I'm the loser. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, please hit like or subscribe to this channel. And yet, by now it is too late. Orgon attempts to throw Tartuffe out of the house, but Tartuffe stalks off insisting, no, I am now the master here. Act 5. The house is in an uproar. Tartuffe is threatening not only to take over the home, but to have Orgon arrested. The spreading rumor of Tartuffe's treachery draws Dami back to the home. Madame Purnell also returns, having heard the news, but proves to be every bit as self-blinded as Orgon had been. Orgon recounts the story of Tartuffe's assault of Elmire, but Purnell refuses to see the truth. Clearly, everyone in the household has conspired to bring about his fall. Orgon repeatedly explains that he himself was a witness. I saw it underneath my nose, but Purnell counters, you stopped him ere he could complete his act. A bailiff arrives, presenting Orgon with an order of eviction, demanding that this estate now belongs to Tartuffe and that Orgon must pack up and leave. And finally, Madame Purnell's faith in Tartuffe breaks. But this is foul. I'm utterly dumbfounded. Once again, no amount of truth-telling is enough to change the point of view of people who blind themselves willingly. That feeling of moral self-righteousness that the con man offers can only be countered by the realization that the man has been turning you into the sucker, turning you into the loser, and is laughing at you as his mark. It's almost as if someone has insisted again and again that they are fighting on your behalf, even as they allow some virus, let's say, to eat away at a vulnerable population. Perhaps it is not until you yourself fall victim to that virus that you might realize just how badly you were duped by that narcissistic, sociopathic con man. Doreen cannot resist mocking. He's clearly working hard to save your souls, distracted as they are from Christian goals. By robbing us of all these worldly things, he saves us from the evil that they bring. And yet, somehow, Orgon and the family find their way to a happy ending. I won't give it away here. Molière enjoyed presenting his characters with seemingly impossible situations from which they might somehow stumble their way into a happy ending. It's what we call a deus ex machina, a God from the machine. Somehow, God has stepped in to set everything right at the last moment. We, the audience, know that this isn't how real life actually works. We are responsible for our own fate, and Molière helps us to see that by creating such an improbable twist that we realize that we cannot trust in God from the machine to save us. We have to pull ourselves out of the mire. So that's I Finally Get Tartuffe. Hopefully your understanding of this will double your appreciation and understanding of Molière's message. Please, if you enjoyed this, give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more. You'll also want to tune in to catch Molière Than Thou this Sunday and Monday, September 27th and 28th, 2020. I'll be scheduling more performances again in January to celebrate Molière's 399th birthday. Please swing by timmooneyRep.com for all the latest details of our performance schedule or to book an event for your own school, theater, or conference in person or via the internet. I do these explainer videos just about every week, releasing them on Friday in advance of the coming shows. You can go back and see the first one I did on Molière's life here, and another about the scandal surrounding the play The School for Wives here. We've also got a Patreon campaign if you'd like to support this work. We are a not-for-profit institution at patreon.com/TimMooneyRep. We have giveaways of lots of swag, like my books about Molière, and even drawings for free performances. And this and lots more goodies can be found at timmooneyRep.com. Thanks for watching. See you on the stage.